Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Maneuver Center of Excellence at Fort Moore Change of Command ceremony between Major General Curtis Buzzard and Major General Colin Tuley. The recruiting officer for today's ceremony is the Deputy Commanding General of the United States Army Training and Doctrine Command, Lieutenant General Maria Gervais. At this time, we would like to recognize the distinguished guests in attendance. The Honorable Skip Henderson, Mayor, City of Columbus, Georgia, and Mrs. Karen Henderson. The Honorable Gary Fuller, Mayor, City of Opelika, Alabama. The Honorable Richard Cooley, Mayor, City of Smith Station, Alabama, and Mrs. Brenda Cooley. Lieutenant General Michael Ferrier, United States Army retired, former Commanding General, United States Army Infantry Center and School, and First Commanding General of the Maneuver Center of Excellence in Fort Benning. Lieutenant General William Garrett, retired, and Mrs. Jim Garrett. Mr. John, Secretary of the Army, Georgia West. Mr. John Phillips, Civilian Aide to the Secretary of the Army, Georgia North. Ms. Angela Odom, Civilian Aide to the Secretary of the Army, Georgia North. Mrs. Jean Puckett, spouse of Medal Honor recipient, Colonel Retired Ralph Puckett. Major General Robert Davis, Chief of Staff, Army National Guard. Major General Julian Burns, United States Army retired. Ms. Laura Gower, Office of Congressman Drew Ferguson. Ms. Lee Vanoy, Office of Congressman Mike Rogers and Mr. Jim Vanoy. Brigadier General Peter Hart, Joint Staff J5, and Mrs. Karen Wilnassar. Brigadier General David Samuelson, Commanding General, 98th Training Division, Initial Training. Colonel United States Army retired, former Commandant, United States Army Infantry School. Advanced Army Recruit Young, United States Army retired, former Advanced Army, United States Army Army School. Councilman Arthur Day, Phoenix City Council member. And Mrs. Carolyn Rodriguez, President, Columbus Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for your attendance today. Fort Moore, located on the border of Alabama and Georgia, was established in 19 October 1918 as Hampton. Its creation came in response to the needs of the U.S. Army in our World War I, that they required new training and rapture units. Fort Moore was initially designed to train soldiers in the art of warfare. During its early years, camp meeting rapidly grew in both size and importance. The infantry school, initially moved from Fort Sill, Oklahoma, was established, emphasizing its role in infantry training, and by 1922, it had become the primary infantry training center for the U.S. Army and renamed Fort Benning. In the late 1920s, the infantry school at Fort Moore, under the leadership of then Colonel George C. Marshall, introduced innovative training techniques and emphasized the importance of combined arms operations. In 1932, the tank school moved to Fort Moore, reinforcing the importance of the tank infantry team. In the early 1940s, the installation expanded dramatically, training hundreds of thousands of soldiers who would go on to fight in Europe and the Pacific. Airborne forces, training paratroopers who played a vital role in key operations throughout the war. The famed 555th Parachute Infantry Company, Triple Nickel, was activated on Fort Moore on 30 December 1943 as the first African-American parachute unit. Following World War II, Fort Benning continued to evolve, adapting to the changing needs of the U.S. Army. The Korean War in the early 1950s saw the fort once again become a hub of training and preparation. It was during this era that the Ranger Training Command was established in 1950, giving birth to the elite U.S. Army Rangers. During the Vietnam War era, the post continued to be at the epicenter of Army innovation. The infantry school refined its training programs to meet the demands of jungle warfare. In 1963, the 11th Airborne Division was reactivated at Fort Moore and redesignated as the 11th Air Assault Test Division, established to develop the tactics and techniques for integrating helicopters into infantry operations. The unit was again redesignated as the 1st Cavalry Division in 1965. The Bullseye Cav, led by Lieutenant General Howard, was led to Vietnam Fort Moore and fought in the Battle of the X-Ray, the first major battle of the Vietnam War with the air assault techniques. The decades followed, Fort Moore remained at the forefront of new training. The 1980s and 1990s saw the introduction of the rapid fighting vehicle and the implementation of advanced training jobs. reality of combined armed operations. In 2020, the installation was renamed Honorable Lieutenant General Colin Moore and his wife Tuley. General Moore was a highly respected leader, known not just for his service in the Vietnam War, but also for his unwavering character and commitment to professional arts. Tuley Moore was a tireless advocate for military families, particularly in improving ways of the middle class academies during the Vietnam War. This transition has been accomplished by continued investment in the force infrastructure and training capabilities, ensuring the Fort Moore remains cutting edge in military preparedness. Today, Fort Moore stands for civil excellence and dedication, embodying over a century of military tradition and innovation. It remains very training around the U.S. Army, preparing soldiers to face challenges of the 21st century with the same determination and skill that defines its history. The direct work we designed to bring to the excellence of Basic School, Army School, Airborne Brigade Training Brigade, the 199th Infantry Brigade, 198th Infantry Brigade, the 197th Infantry Brigade, 194th Armored Brigade, 360th Cavalry Brigade, and the Henry Carl Non-Commissioned Officer Academy. 10 units include the 75th Brigade Regiment, 1st Security Force Assistance Brigade, Marshall Auditorium Hospital, the Army Horsemanship Unit, Western Hemisphere Institute for Security Cooperation, and the Warrior Training Center. At this time, we'll play a short video.
Over the last almost 250 years, the Army has become one of the greatest ground forces the world has ever seen. We have been the main effort for every conflict in our country's history and have dominated our adversaries.
Soldiers and leaders, they come here to be better. They come here to begin their careers in the service of their country, to learn the basics from our outstanding drill sergeants, to gain functional skills like airborne, ranger, master gunner, sniper. They come here to prepare to lead platoons, companies, battalions, and brigades. We make a handshake with America every time new soldiers arrive. People join the Army to be all they can be, but they come here to be more.
You should install the will to win in your unit. I never allowed second place trophies to be accepted, presented, or displayed in any trophy case of any unit I ever commanded. And if you come in second on the battlefield, you haven't accomplished your mission.
We are at the epicenter of winning at the Maneuver Center of Excellence. This is exactly what we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and honors. Remain standing for the national anthem performed by Specialist Watkins of the MCoE Band and the invocation given by Captain Jackson. Lieutenant General Gervais conferred honors in recognition of the leadership and dedication of Major General Buzzard as the Commanding General of the Maneuver Center of Excellence.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we take this moment to pause before you. You are on your throne and you are in control and you are faithful each and every day of our lives. We thank you, Father, for this great nation that we get to serve. We thank you, Father, for this family that's gathered here in this room, this team, one force, one fight. Father, we thank you for this beautiful, massive land, this immense responsibility that you've given us, the United States of America and Fort Moore. Father, you place leaders for a time and a purpose. You place these leaders to enable and to lead. And Father, you have placed General Buzzard here for a specific time and purpose. And Lord, one thing we can say is that he led with humility. And Father, that is critical. Much has been accomplished through that character trait. May we never forget that. And Father, I pray that you would bless General Tuley as he takes this great, immense responsibility upon himself, that he would know that you are God Almighty, and that he can always trust in you. And may humility guide him each and every way. Lord, humility changed eternity. If it's good enough for you, then let it be good enough for us. Lord, as we train to fight and win the nation's wars, we too may feel our blood that will finance freedom. But may we never forget the blood that you spilled that pays in full for eternity. It is through your Son, Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, Outgoing Witness 198 today, presenting Major General Buzzard for delegations symbolizing past Iron Fire and Commanding General of the Troops and Rebellion. At this time, Sergeant Audie Murphy awardee, Sergeant First Class Shaw, is presenting roses to the outgoing First Lady, Mrs. Terry Buzzard, thanking her for all her support to the Maneuver Center of Excellence and the Tri-Communities. The red roses, which were in full bloom, signify her time with the Maneuver Center of Excellence. Sergeant First Class Shaw is also presenting a bouquet of roses to Major General Buzzard's mother, Mrs. Suzanne Buzzard, as well as an MCoE coin to Major General Buzzard's father, Mr. Al Buzzard. Now, the Fort Moore Sergeant Audie Murphy Club Vice President, Sergeant First Class Sales, is presenting a bouquet of white roses to Mrs. Jen Tuley to welcome her as the new First Lady to the Maneuver Center of Excellence. Sergeant First Class Sales is also presenting a single red rose to Major General Tuley's daughter, Mrs. Alex Stuster, and an MCoE coin to Major General Tuley's son-in-law, Mr. Davis Stuster. This ceremony, steeped in military tradition, serves the dual function of rendering honors to the departing commander and providing official recognition for the transfer of command and responsibility for the soldiers, equipment, and mission of the Maneuver Center of Excellence to the new commander. This transfer is accomplished through the passing of the unit colors, which are a symbol of the combat readiness and esprit de corps of the unit. The colors represent not only the unit, but also the unity and loyalty of its soldiers. They are the commander's symbol of authority, representing his responsibilities to the organization. The guardian of the colors is the Command Sergeant Major. He is both the spokesman for loyalty and concerns of the soldiers and is the principal advisor to the commander. The passing of the colors from the outgoing to the incoming commander is significant in many ways. The transition is symbolic of the transfer of command responsibility to a new leader. At this time, the change of command will be initiated by Command Sergeant Major Jerry Dodson, the Maneuver Center of Excellence Command Sergeant Major. By authority of paragraph 2-5, Army Regulations 600-20, the undersigned assumes command of the Maneuver Center of Excellence in Fort Moore, Georgia, effective 12 July 2024. Signed, Colin P. Tuley, Major General, Commanding. Ladies and gentlemen, the Deputy Commanding General of the United States Army Training and Doctrine Command, Lieutenant General Maria Gervais.
Hey, well, good. Hey, well, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? All right, hey, there's no better way to start a Friday than to be here to recognize these two great leaders here at the home of the infantry and the armor and the 75th Ranger Regiment, and where lethality starts for our Army. So let me ask that again. How are you doing this morning? All right, much better. Hey, so first of all, distinguished guests, family and friends, and teammates of the Maneuver Center of Excellence. It is a great day to be here among friends and family, and at community partners who are unmatched in their support to this installation, our Army, and our nation. A special thank you to Miss Jeannie Puckett, spouse of Congressional Medal of Honor recipient Ralph Puckett. First of all, thank you for always being here to support our beloved Army. And I want you to know that it is Ralph's legacy, along with many others, that each and every day we strive to uphold. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I'd like to thank everyone who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to put this event on. To the band, as always, the band and who provides the music sounds magnificent, and I thank you for making this ceremony memorable and special for all. Specialist Watkins, first of all, that rendition of our national anthem, if it did not raise the hair on the back of your neck, come see me afterwards, because that was absolutely beautiful. How about a round of applause? And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present this young soldier with a coin for an outstanding job. Hey, I'd also like to thank all the soldiers and civilians of Fort Moore, the color guard, the ushers, the escorts, the leaders, to our emergency services, and also our garrison partners for ensuring that we had a beautiful and secure space to hold this ceremony. And I want to say this, because although we're all sitting in here right now in this cool air-conditioned theater, I got to tell you, there would have been units with their staffs that would have been out there on that field. And we made the decision to bring it inside so that they would not be in that heat and humidity. But I want you to know, if they were standing out there, their discipline and professionalism would have been unmatched. And they would have made this change of command a first-class event in every way, in every shape and form. And if they were standing out there and you were watching them, you would know that they were demonstrating why our Army is the best led, the best equipped, the best trained, the most respected, and quite frankly, the most feared Army in the world. So thank you very much for taking time out of your very busy schedules to join us here today. There are many other places you could have chosen to be here, on this Friday morning. But you chose to be here out of respect, out of admiration and love for these two leaders and for what they do for our Army. You chose to be here, and it warms my heart to see so many friends and families and teammates here this morning. Now, we all know that changes of command are bittersweet. Bitter because we are bidding a fond farewell to Team Buzzard, Curtis and Terry. But sweet because we are welcoming another incredibly talented team in the Tuleys, Colin and Jen, and you're coming back to Fort Moore, so welcome home. Now, if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more, you are a leader. And Curtis, your tenure here at the Maneuver Center of Excellence, along with the rest of your career, has demonstrated that you live your life as a confirmation of this quote by John Quincy Adams. Now, Curtis, although 2 years may feel way too short to have achieved everything that you had hoped for, my friend, You need to know that under your unwavering hand and steadfast focus on taking care of your team, you and your team have made a huge impact on our Army, and you've left a legacy which remains to be seen. From your very first day, you had such a positive influence on this command. The energy you brought to the Maneuver Center of Excellence is a testament that you inspire others to be more than they can be, with the sense of urgency necessary to achieve our Army and our nation's mission, and winning matters. Your team loves you, and they would follow you anywhere, and quite frankly, so would I. Your ability to immediately form meaningful connections with community leaders, peers, and subordinates resonated throughout your tenure here. Under your hand, Maneuver Center of Excellence has evolved into the epitome of a disciplined, hardworking, and forward-thinking organization. You guided your team to modernize the program of instruction that aligned efforts to achieve Army senior leader expectations of our commissioned and our non-commissioned officers. Your dedication to the soldiers' training at Fort Moore was evident in your presence at the majority of the infantry and armor graduations, and every course at every echelon can attest to his presence at their PT sessions where he role modeled the physical expectations of our profession. Now, these future leaders can stand proud in receiving the mentorship from a phenomenal leader, and I know that your leadership will be instrumental in their development as they grow into our future leaders for the Army of 2030 and 2040. Now, Curtis was lauded for his ability to drive change for Ranger 2030 and for all the modernization efforts, the Maneuver Captain's Career Course, Common Core, BCT Fight Course, the Maneuver Pre-Command Course, and Maneuver Bolix to align curriculum with our Army senior leader expectations and outcomes. And quite frankly, for what we needed to do to ensure that we could deliver the Army of 2030 and make sure that we were prepared to address any threat, anytime, anywhere. He continually provided sound guidance that aligned with TRADOC and our Army senior leader priorities. One thing you all know, as stated before, Curtis was committed to conducting physical training, whether it was with his front office, one station unit training, our BOLIT classes, our officer OCS students, and he was always leading from the front, and he was always there to be a motivating force for our young soldiers and leaders. Now, during his tenure as the commanding general at Fort Moore, the Maneuver Center of Excellence produced approximately 40,000 infantry and armor enlisted soldiers for our Army, over 1,400 Rangers, 22,000 airborne graduates, approximately 1,200 infantry officers, 530 armor officers, and 400 direct commission officers, along with 1,000 OCS lieutenants. And what a phenomenal accomplishment. And through all of this, Curtis was a hands-on leader. And he conducted regular battlefield circulations to motivate and also inspire leaders of all ranks and ages. His people-first approach to leadership was evident in everything that he did, to include personally writing over 400 two-star notes to soldiers and leaders who went above and beyond mission requirements. So in the end, Curtis, you lived that quote by John Quincy Adams. You've touched every one of these soldiers, cadets, civilians, families who came through those gates at Fort Moore, and you've shaped our Army, not just today, but well into the future. So one last thing I want to mention about Curtis. And this is something I personally witnessed, Curtis pours his heart into all he does for our soldiers and our families and our Army. His personal touch could clearly be seen in the renaming ceremony of Fort Benning to Fort Moore. Curtis, it was a beautiful, touching ceremony, one of the best that I've seen in my entire 37 years of serving in this Army. Job well done. Now, even though this is a big day for General Buzzard, I need to recognize his parents, Alan and Susie Buzzard, for being here today, and for all that you have done throughout the years. Mom and Dad, thank you for sharing Curtis with us, and for the incredible job you did raising him. He is a great leader, a great teammate, and a great friend to all, so thank you very much. And now to what makes Curtis really as who he is, and that is his better half Terry, because Curtis would not want to be here without the support of Terry and his 3 beautiful daughters. So Terry, we know that it takes a lot of support from our family and loved ones, and you have been a steadfast supporter. And on behalf of TRADOC, thank you for all you've done, your sacrifices, and for allowing Curtis to be the best soldier leader he can be for our Army, all while raising 3 accomplished daughters. One is a physical therapist who's married to an Army officer, and then there's 2 Navy officers. I don't know what to think about that. I will say, I bet Army-Navy Week is pretty sporty in your house. So we are forever grateful for all you've done, along with your sacrifices to allow Curtis to be the soldier and leader we need him to be for our Army. We wish Team Buzzard the best of luck as they depart to Germany in support of the SAG-U mission. There is no doubt in my mind, Curtis, and you've heard me say this a lot of times, go crush it, I know you will. Now we know, as one great leader departs, another great leader is stepping right into the breach and is at the ready. We are very fortunate to welcome back home Team Tuley, Colin and Jen, back home here to Fort Moore. Without a doubt, we know you are ready and honored to take the reins of this great organization, leading them to new heights. I'm confident you will bring the same level of passion, the vision, and the leadership. And I know how honored and humbled you are to take command of this strategic organization where lethality starts right here, along with the future of our maneuver leaders starts right here and with you. So, go crush it. Again, well done by all, and it's really a great day to be here at Fort Moore. And as I end all my remarks, may God bless you. May God bless those that are deployed in harm's way, along with our Gold Star families. And may God always, always bless this great nation of ours. Victory starts here. This will defend. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing Commanding General of Maneuver Center of Excellence at Fort Moore, Major General Curtis Buzzard.
Well, good morning, distinguished guests, and too many to mention by name, but all of our elected officials, former commanding generals here, former infantry and armor commandants and command sergeants majors, great infantry and army leaders. Mrs. Puckett, always great to have you here too. And soldiers, family, friends, and soldiers and civilians from across Fort Moore, Columbus, and the greater Chattahoochee River Valley community, you truly honor me with your presence. Lieutenant General Gervais, thanks for officiating and the kind words. It's been an honor to serve under General Brito, Lieutenant General Beagle, and yourself. Thanks for all your outstanding leadership. Thanks to the band for making this event even more special. You've had a busy week this week. I think this may be double digits in terms of changes of command as of Friday morning. You bring extra class to these events, and very grateful for all you've done over the last 2 years. Terry and I love music, and you've crushed it at every event, every concert. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Command Sergeant Major Dotson, thanks to you and all those who assisted in preparing today's ceremony. Things don't just happen on their own. It was outstanding, as expected. This is a day that I hoped would never come. Boy, has time flown by. Seems like yesterday that I was standing on this stage assuming command. Back then, my mind was flooded with memories as I came back to this great post. And now I'm just a few minutes away from my final assignment here. It's bittersweet. This is truly a special place. It's a great mission with great people and a great community, both on and off post. And Terry and I will miss it tremendously. Quite simply, soldiers and leaders do really come here to be better. They come here to begin their careers in the service of this great country, to learn the fundamentals, to prepare to lead formations across our Army from platoon to brigade. They come here to prepare to be senior non-commissioned officers, to gain expertise and challenge themselves in our functional courses, like airborne, master gunner, ranger, sniper, and I could go on and on. We collectively make our Army better, and units are relying on us to deliver. I cannot think of a more powerful or important mission, especially in this volatile and uncertain security environment. And our mission is based on a foundation of trust. We make a handshake with America every time new soldiers arrive, and we must maintain the trust of the American people. Moms and dads across our great country are relying on us to take care of their sons and daughters, our national treasure, to challenge them, to push them, and to care for them as if our own. And you all have done just that and then some. And we are an Army in continuous transformation in order to deter potential adversaries and, if necessary, fight and win in large-scale combat operations. The character of war, how we fight, and with what means is always changing. And we are changing also. Training with and against small drones, understanding the electromagnetic spectrum, endeavoring to be more data-centric, redesigning our formations, introducing new capabilities and developing new doctrine, organizations, training, etc. We are not complacent. We adapt every day. Collectively, we have driven change. As a lead for our Army for robotics at the brigade combat team and below level, we are exploring how to fight with human-machine integration. Bottom line, we are on the cutting edge here and seeking always to lead the target and to be in front of challenges. But if the Russian aggression in the Ukraine has taught us anything, it's that the nature of war largely remains the same. It's a brutal contest of wills, requiring cohesive teams of soldiers who are fit, disciplined, and live up to high standards, highly trained and lethal, mentally and physically tough, with the will to win. The fundamentals matter more than ever. Soldiers and leaders must be masters of combined arms maneuver and exemplify the warrior ethos, able to inspire through the toughest of times. And that's exactly what we do here at the Maneuver Center of Excellence, home of the decisive arm of our Army, our military, and our nation, armor and infantry land power. It's the tank infantry team that will lead the way, and we train to win. And it was a highlight of my career to be the commanding general for the renaming of this post in honor of Lieutenant General retired Hal and Julie Moore, two people of tremendous character. I was honored to meet the Moore's children and their families, Gold Star spouses from Vietnam, and over 50 vets from 1/7 Cav. We have a saying here now that people join the Army to be all they can be, and they come here to be more, to challenge themselves and to strive to live up to the Moore standard. Great character, a warrior mindset that doesn't accept second place, a tough trainer, and a family that took care of soldiers, civilians, and their families, and embraced the local community. And I'm tremendously grateful to have worked with so many people who also strive for that standard. I'm grateful to have served with tremendous senior NCOs, Command Sergeant Major Jerry Dotson, my Ranger buddy. Thanks for your leadership over the last year and a half, and Command Sergeant Major Derek Garner for the beginning of my command tour. Thanks to 4 excellent commandants and their command sergeants major, the Chief of Staff, Colonel Ryan Wiley, Kevin Quarles, our acting senior civilian, and all of the awesome and committed civilians across this post. Tremendous brigade command teams that took intent and ran with it, and the best garrison team in the Army. Maneuver Center of Excellence staff, an amazing public affairs team, and front office, and the Directorate of Training and Doctrine, our outstanding Maneuver Capability Development Integration Directorate, and all they are doing to transform our maneuver force, and I could go on and on. But most importantly, thanks to our non-commissioned officers, particularly our drill sergeants, black hats, ranger instructors, cadre, and support staff. You are the center of gravity of our mission. Thanks for your leadership, professionalism, care, and managing risk while doing the toughest and most dangerous training in our Army. No one is more professional than you, and right now thousands are out training across this post. From live fire ranges to take gunnery to airborne operations to ranger patrols. Let's give our non-commissioned officers a round of applause. Thanks to our community leaders, our elected officials, chambers of commerce, leaders in higher education. I've gotten to know me personally, and I'm grateful for your friendship and your support to this command and our families. Special thanks to Mayor Henderson and his wife Karen, and our local civilian aide to Secretary of the Army, John Hargrove, for their leadership, partnership, and friendship. So there's a lot I will miss. Starting a morning with the first 100 yards or thunder run with new trainees, PT with any of our units, the smell of JP-8 fuel at Lawson Army Airfield, and the warm breeze you feel when the C-130 door opens over the drop zone and we jump into the blue skies above Fryer, DZ. Attending one station unit training graduations and the feeling of pride and excitement in the air. Our graduations for non-commissioned officers and officers, and knowing we've made an impact on a generation of leaders. Visiting our functional courses and seeing the readiness they are building. Having lunch with our captains in the career course, watching a combined arms live fire on Red Cloud Range with armed drones and loitering munitions. Stopping by the battle lab as we drive the transformation of the future force. Newcomers PT every other Tuesday morning. I'm still feeling it from this Tuesday. All of our infantry and armor competitions, concerts on the lawn, and the various receptions at Riverside. Oktoberfest. Yes, Oktoberfest in southern Georgia. And all of our great MWR events. The great care that Survivor Outreach Services provides to families of our fallen, Rangers in action and Ranger graduations, and sitting in the gunner spot on an M1 while firing a few tank rounds. Now that's shock and firepower. And great community events where we all come together, because it's the people that make this place so special. This truly is an amazing place and the best assignment I've had in the Army, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to command here. Finally, thanks to my family, to my lovely wife Terry, 17 PCS moves, the months deployed and away, but I'm so grateful for your love and support and the contributions you made to this community. Thanks for being with me on this incredible journey. I love you so very much. Thanks to my 3 wonderful daughters who unfortunately can't be here. I'm proud of each of them, all linked to the military. Our oldest, Katie, a physical therapist who's married to an Army Special Forces officer and brought us our first grandson. Our middle daughter, Caroline, who was deployed in the Pacific on a carrier as part of an F-18 crew. And our youngest, Anna, who's a naval surface warfare officer and afloat in the Mediterranean. I'm so proud of each of you. Thanks also to my parents for their example, for their additional love and support, and for being here today. And thanks to my in-laws for their support, also over a 32-plus year career. And thanks to so many friends and mentors and soldiers I've served with that are here today. You made me a better leader. And welcome home to Colin and Jen Tuley. Colin and I were here together at the Captain's Career Course, overlapped as Brigade Combat Team Commanders in the 82nd Airborne Division, and have run in the same crowds for the last 3 decades. I'm certain he'll take the Maneuver Center of Excellence in Fort Moore to even greater heights, and I wish them the best of luck. Enjoy the ride because it goes by too quick. In closing, I'm enormously honored, proud, and more importantly, grateful to have served here. Thanks to every one of you. You've taught me so much. And remember, people join the Army to be all they can be, and they come here to be more. We must deliver. God bless you all, God bless the Army, and God bless our great nation. Forge the Thunderbolt, follow me, one force, one fight, victory starts here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General of the Maneuver Center of Excellence in Fort Moore, Major General Colin Tuley.
Hey, so a lot of times I tell folks, every day is an assessment, every day. Last night, I was with my family and friends, and I said, tomorrow morning we'll link up and we'll drive together in a convoy to the building. I woke up this morning, I got ready, I realized I gave no plan, I didn't even make a plan. We did not rehearse anything, we did not talk anything, we were winging it. I go, this could go well or could not go well. So I got dressed, got downstairs, and I walked downstairs and I heard my wife talking. And there's another lady talking. I couldn't see. I look around the corner and it was Jeannie Puckett. And I go, and Jen's like, she's coming with us in the convoy over to the change of command. And I went, okay, it just got real. I am not going to be the commander or the incoming commander who loses Jeannie Puckett on the ride over. So I very much asked Jeannie Puckett, please ride in my truck with me. She, of course, Jeannie, she goes, no, I could drive myself. And I'm like sitting there sweating. I'm like, Jeannie, please ride in the vehicle with me. And we made it, so thank you, Jeannie. Appreciate you coming in the vehicle this morning. Hey, welcome everyone, and appreciate everybody coming out here today and be a part of this. General Jirai, hey, Jen and I truly appreciate your kind words and welcome us back here to Fort Moore. To the soldiers and leaders of Fort Moore and MCoE, I am truly humbled. I'm humbled here to serve alongside you. I look forward to how we lead the Maneuver Center of Excellence into the future, training and developing our soldiers and leaders who are one day leading our small unit organizations across the Army. To the family and friends of Fort Moore, I am truly excited to be a part of this community. Fort Moore's partnership with Columbus is without peer. I have watched it over the many years, and I've stood in awe at this special bond between this installation and the community we live in. Curtis, thank you. Terry, thank you. You guys are a class act. You guys opened up your arms at every opportunity to bring Jen and I on board, and we really appreciate it and appreciate the friendship that we have had over the many years. It is surreal to be here today, as part of our next chapter in our life. We have many memories, the Tuleys, many great memories here at Fort Moore. Both of our daughters attended numerous years of elementary school here, went to high school here. Oldest daughter, Alex, went out to University of Georgia. So this is also where Jen and I started our marriage as First Lieutenant Tuley. This was our first duty station, our first home, right down the street on Lumpkin Road. Mayor Skip Henderson, great to see you. Look forward to joining with you as we go into the future. You've established a great team. I can't wait to join it, and I look forward as we build this community together. I do want to take a couple moments for a couple call-outs of some of the folks that are out here today. Have really been a part of my life throughout many, many decades and how we got here as well. But first, just a quick thank you to my team, aide-de-camp and XO, Davis and Joanne. They picked up their families, PCS'd, and also transitioned me all at the same time coming here. Not an easy feat. It's a hell of a sacrifice, so my thanks to you. I got my previous aide out there, Becca. Thank you for driving down here from Fort Liberty. Got a good friend, Colonel retired Gabe Barton, a tremendous friend and confidant, plenty of tours together, much of our time together in Afghanistan. Got Ben Allen, thanks for coming. Appreciate your, I would call extreme tolerance and extreme patience in coaching me. Thank you. Command Sergeant Major Bo Barnett, my Ranger buddy, my battle from Brigade Command. He set me on the path of where I am today. And that path is to realize ever more the power of our NCO Corps and how to empower them and how to enable them. Thanks for making the trip, Bo. Appreciate it, my friend. Roll Tide. General Farrader, sir, great to see you. Like I said out there in the hallway, I still remember we were jumping into Gettysburg as part of our LPD program down at 3rd Range Battalion. Appreciate you having confidence in me back then. Appreciate your confidence you have in me right now. General Burke, Garrett, and Kim, thank you for attending. Thank you for driving down here from North Georgia. General Garrett was my battalion commander when I was a young company commander. And sir, you were precisely the reason I even thought about staying in the Army. Your professional and your personal touch, there's no shred of doubt in this. So thank you for what you've done. Thank you for what you do right now. General Howe, being your J3 of JSOC was nothing short of exceptional. You grounded me in leadership and the importance of bringing that human touch into leading. Thank you, sir. It means the world to Jen and I for you to be here today. My classmate and bestest of friends, Chad Smith, and his sister Stacy. Your friendship has been priceless. Your family took me in when I was a young cadet and became my Georgia family for all those years. Thank you for being here. Jeannie Puckett. I could go on and on. Hey, you and Colonel Ralph Puckett were a part of the Tuley family for over 20 years. You pretty much adopted my family. And a lot of times I was never even around. And I think a lot about what you guys have done for the daughters, and so my thanks to you. I first had my first encounter with Colonel Ralph Puckett when I was a platoon leader, and my company commander came up to me and said, hey, Colonel Ralph Puckett's going to walk with you and your platoon during the company live fire out of Kilo 22. completely horrified. Horrified. I was thinking through all the things that could go wrong. So we linked up later on that day. Colonel Puckett, he obviously could tell that I was just not comfortable with this. He walks up to me, he's like, Lieutenant Tuley, I've seen a couple firefights in my life. I think I can handle this. So thank you, Jeannie. It means the world to the girls and I for you to be here today. Our son-in-law, Dana, and his parents, Jack and Joan Stuster, thanks for making it out here from Santa Barbara. Great to have you here. To my mother, who could not make it, Janice, she's on the live stream, now watching. She shaped me for who I became and helped me navigate the life and later entering the Army. Fort Moore is actually a pretty special place for us. She came down here when I was a second lieutenant after I graduated from Ranger School, which was delayed, and I would say delayed many, many times over, as I probably set a new record for the number of times a second lieutenant could recycle Ranger School. I'll be out there, I'm going to check the records. I think I might still actually own that record. I also learned how much you can eat while you recycle. It's an art. So my mom and I were catching up throughout that day, and later on in the day, she just kind of slipped in this comment. And I didn't know if it was a question, a statement, I didn't know where she was going with it. She just kind of casually said, hey, I didn't realize that someone could actually gain weight while at Ranger School. And so I just sat there. I took in the observation. I was absorbing what was just said out to me. And I looked back at her and I was like, and I said slowly, I said, Mom, what exactly are you trying to say about me? She just stared back. I stared back at her. And to this day, she has still not answered that question. In all seriousness, my mom was there my entire life. I'm proud of and was just there to support me. And I'm proud of who she is and who she is as a mother today, and she shaped me. So thank you, Mom. I know you're out there listening. So lastly, I'd like to add, there's probably a lot of you guys out there thinking, just like me, how in the world did I get up here? I'm thinking it. I know you're thinking it. All right? And probably all of us have done the same thing. You look down to the first row, and we look down there, and you see my wife, Jen. We all have that nod. We have that nod of recognition. We're all thinking, Jen Tuley. Now it makes sense. She's been the rock, keeping the family together, keeping the family strong and grounded throughout the years. Just like Curtis and Terry, this is our 17th PCS move. Reestablishing the family at every turn. Reestablishing our family each and every time. And without a doubt, I would not be up here today if it wasn't for her. My greatest accomplishment in life is sitting right there. It's my wife, Jen. It's my two daughters, Alex and Annabelle. So in closing, today marks the most humbling professional experience I have ever had. I really appreciate the heartfelt welcome and the reuniting with so many family, friends, and soldiers. Fort Moore, Columbus, it really does have a coming home feel for both Jen and I. Thank you very much.